This is the old back yonder again, Falmouth, Kentucky. And I don't know, sometimes I think I'm like a homespun philosopher. Now, nobody ever buys my advice. Nobody ever comes and seeks my advice. Nobody pays any attention to my advice. But some way or another, I guess one of my great characters of admiration is the good old Oklahoma cowboy, Will Rogers. So anyhow, I got to thinking what little message I could give you today. I really think our society is too complicated. Now, when I was growing up, there was a very simple society. In fact, we had such songs as this. Now, the story behind that little song was this little gal, Mary, I guess she was just starting to school, and she had this little pet, a little lamb. Says its fleece was as white as snow. Very lovely little lamb. They thought so much of one another. In fact, the little lamb would follow Mary around all day long. When she had to go to school, she followed Mary to school. Wasn't anything wrong with that. Mary didn't have to worry about some people attacking her or doing this or what have you, but she got to school, no problem. The kids loved it. They said it made them laugh and play. But anyhow, when the teacher saw this, she didn't like it because it was against the rules. So, but we think of our society today, we have so many rules, this happens and that happens, and anyhow, Mary's teacher didn't like it at all, so she had to send her home. Now, I got to thinking, if that were to happen today, what would happen? It would be lucky if the kid could walk to school. When it got to school, probably they would have a lockdown. They would lock everything down. They would probably call the SWAT team in. They would call the New York Times way up in there and be the headlines. Maybe send the lamb to another place, or maybe even send the child Mary to the juvenile facilities. So that's sort of the way that society goes today. Too complicated. Now, I got to thinking that I could solve a problem, about 90% of the problems. I doubt if it will, but anyhow I did. And this is the little poem that I thought you might like. When you get what you want in the battle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, go to the mirror, look at yourself, see what that man has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or wife whose judgment upon you must pass. The fellow whose verdict counts most in this world is the man staring back from the glass. Some people might think you're a straight shooting chum and think you're a wonderful guy, but the man in the mirror says you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. He's the fellow to please, never mind all the rest, for he's with you right up till the end. And you've passed the most dangerous, difficult task if the man in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of times and get pats on the back as you pass, but the final result will be heartaches and tears if you cheated the man in the glass. Now, you got to be careful when you go look at yourself that way, because you might have to bring in some grief counselors, because you might get shocked a little bit. But good day to you, and hasta luego.